Most men blame age when their blood flow starts to slow down, but the real problem often starts much smaller. Tighter blood vessels, lower nitric oxide, and one quiet warning sign that usually shows up in the bedroom first. Here's the strange part. Some of the simplest fruits in your kitchen may support the same blood flow pathway men try to fix with expensive pills, but not all of them work the same way. One helps your arteries relax, one supports cleaner circulation, and one common fruit can help or hurt you depending on how you eat it. So which fruits actually support stronger blood flow and intimacy after 40, and which one should you stop eating them the wrong way? Number 1. Watermelon. Watermelon is not just sweet water. It contains an amino acid called citrulline. Your body can turn citrulline into arginine, and arginine helps your body make nitric oxide. That matters because nitric oxide helps blood vessels relax. And when blood vessels relax, blood can move more freely. This does not mean watermelon works like a pill. It does not force an instant result. But it does support one of the same pathways men care about when they talk about blood flow. That is the key. Most men are looking for a quick fix, but the body usually responds better to repeated signals. Better food, better sleep, better circulation. Watermelon is useful because it is simple, easy to eat, and it supports the nitric oxide pathway without feeling like a health food. A good way to use it is earlier in the day or after exercise. Not buried in a huge dessert, not blended with sugar, just real watermelon. But watermelon is only the first layer because nitric oxide helps blood vessels relax, but the next fruit helps protect those vessels from damage. Number 2. Pomegranate. Pomegranate is the deep red fruit most men ignore until they hear one thing. It is loaded with polyphenols. Those are plant compounds that help fight oxidative stress. And oxidative stress is one of the reasons blood vessels stop working as smoothly with age. Think of your blood vessels like a garden hose. When the hose is soft and flexible, water moves easily. When it gets stiff, pressure builds, flow drops, and everything works harder. That is what makes pomegranate interesting. It does not just support blood flow from one angle. It may help with circulation, blood pressure support, and the health of the vessel lining. And that lining matters more than most men think, because the inside of your blood vessels is where a lot of the blood flow signal begins. The best form is simple: fresh seeds or unsweetened pomegranate juice. But here is the catch. A lot of pomegranate juice in stores is basically a sugar drink wearing a health label. So check the label. No added sugar, no fake fruit blend, no giant bottle you drink like soda. A small amount is enough. Watermelon supports the signal, pomegranate supports the vessel. But the third fruit works in a quieter way. You may not feel it immediately, but your arteries may care about it more than your taste buds do. Number 3. Blueberries. Blueberries look small, but they carry compounds called anthocyanins. That is what gives them their dark blue color. And those compounds are linked with better blood vessel function. For men over 40, this matters because blood flow is not only about one big moment. It is about what your body does all day. After breakfast, after stress, after sitting for 6 hours, after a bad night of sleep. That is where blueberries fit. They are not the loudest fruit on this list. They are not the strongest for nitric oxide, and they are not the one most men think of for intimacy. But they may help support the blood vessel lining over time. And that is where a lot of men lose ground. Not overnight, quietly. The easiest way to use blueberries is with breakfast. Add them to plain Greek yogurt, add them to oats, or eat them with a few nuts so the meal does not become just sugar. Because eating fruit alone is fine for some men. But if your blood sugar crashes later, your energy can crash with it. And low energy does not help intimacy. Blueberries help with the long game, but the next fruit has a sharper edge, because it can support blood vessels or become a sugar problem fast if you use it the wrong way. Before we get to the next one, drop a quick comment. Which of these fruits do you already eat the most? Watermelon, pomegranate, blueberries, or one of the ones coming next. I want to see which fruit most men are actually using, not just hearing about. Number 4, oranges. Oranges are tricky. The fruit is not the problem. The way most people consume it is the problem. A whole orange gives you fiber, vitamin C, water, and citrus flavonoids. One of the key citrus compounds is hesperidin. Hesperidin has been studied for blood vessel function and blood pressure support, but orange juice is different. When you drink juice, it is easy to take in the sugar from several oranges without the same fiber. That can hit fast. And for some men, especially men dealing with belly fat, insulin resistance, or energy crashes, that matters. So the rule is simple. Eat the orange. Do not drink a giant glass of juice and call it health. The whole fruit gives you more control, more chewing, more fiber, slower intake. That is how oranges belong in this video. Not as a magic bedroom drink, as a simple vascular support food when eaten the right way. But the next fruit brings in another blood flow tool most men only connect with wine. Number 5, grapes. Grapes are useful because of what is in their skin. Polyphenols. These plant compounds are one reason red grapes get linked to heart and blood vessel health. Not because grapes are magic, not because wine is suddenly a health plan, but because grape compounds can support the systems that keep blood vessels flexible. This part is important. Some men hear grapes and think red wine. That is not the point. Alcohol can hurt sleep, lower next-day energy, and make performance worse. So this is not an excuse to pour another drink. The better move is simple. Eat real grapes, especially red or purple grapes. Keep the skin on. Use them as a small snack, not a full bowl while watching TV for 2 hours. Grapes are easy to overeat because they taste like candy. So keep the portion controlled. That gives you the compounds without turning the snack into a sugar load. The last fruit is the one most men either overrate or use completely wrong. Number 6, banana. Bananas are not a direct nitric oxide fruit like watermelon. They are different. Their main value is potassium. Potassium helps the body balance sodium and supports healthy blood pressure. That matters because blood pressure and blood flow are connected. When pressure is out of control, blood vessels are under stress. And when blood vessels are under stress, performance can suffer. But here is where men get it wrong. They take a banana, add cereal, add orange juice, add sweet coffee, and wonder why they feel tired by 10:30. That is not a blood flow breakfast. That is a sugar-heavy morning. A banana works better when it is paired correctly, with eggs, with Greek yogurt, with peanut butter, with a protein shake after training. The goal is not to spike and crash. The goal is steady energy, because intimacy is not just about blood flow. It is also about energy, mood, confidence, and not feeling half dead after lunch. That is why bananas belong at the end. They are useful, but only if the rest of the meal makes sense. The simple blood flow fruit plan. Do not try to eat all 6 fruits in one day. That is not the goal. Pick 2 or 3 and rotate them. Watermelon before or after exercise. Pomegranate seeds or a small glass of unsweetened juice. Blueberries with breakfast. A whole orange instead of juice. Red grapes as a controlled snack. A banana paired with protein. That is enough. The mistake is thinking more fruit always means more benefit. It does not. More sugar is still more sugar. And if you're already dealing with belly fat, high blood sugar, or low energy, portions matter. So the rule is simple. Whole fruit first. Juice rarely. Pair sweeter fruits with protein or fiber. That is the part most men miss. They look for the one food that fixes blood flow. But blood flow does not work like that. It is built through repeated choices that keep the vessels healthy, the pressure stable, and the nitric oxide pathway working better. What this means for intimacy after 40. Intimacy after 40 is not just a bedroom issue. It is often a circulation issue, a stress issue, a lifestyle issue, and sometimes a warning sign that something deeper is going on. So if problems are constant, do not ignore them. Talk to a doctor, because ongoing erection problems can be connected to heart health, blood pressure, diabetes, or medication side effects. But if you're looking for a simple place to start, food matters. Not because fruit is a miracle, but because your arteries are built from your daily habits. What you eat, how you sleep, how much you move, how much stress you carry, and these fruits can be part of that foundation. Each one supports the system from a different angle. But the real power is not one fruit. It is using them the right way, consistently, without turning them into sugar bombs. If you had to start with just one, start with watermelon or pomegranate, then build from there. Comment below which fruit you already eat the most. Share this with a man over 40 who still thinks low blood flow is just getting older. Follow for more Simple Men's Health videos, and like this video if you want the next one on the worst breakfast foods for testosterone and blood flow.